Good morning, everybody. So as I promised in the last video, I'm going to get the new LiftMaster touch screen smart garage control, a very long name, installed today. And we're going to get the app configured, and then we're going to sign up for the Amazon and Walmart in-garage delivery service. So I've kind of already read through the instructions for the installation. I'm going to get the lock physically installed in the door, and I'm going to get the controller mounted on the wall, and we'll go from there. So we're going to head downstairs and let's get to it. Okay, so we're downstairs in the garage, and as you can see, this is actually going to be ideal for this door because the handle doesn't even have a lock, just a deadbolt. And to be honest with you, in the 15, 20 years, I don't know I've ever put a key in that lock at all. However, if we want to be able to secure the house during the in-garage delivery, I'm going to need that to be able to lock. So this smart lock is going to be perfect. So I found the ideal position for the hub. I'm going to mount it here on the wall, right above this outlet, and it's probably 4 feet away from the door. And as you can see, I have added a smart plug that I'm going to plug it into, because that way, if I ever need to power cycle it, or if for some reason it's offline, I'll be able to know that. So because obviously, if it's not working, the smart lock won't work. So I want to make sure that's always on. So that's going to be super convenient. So, all right, let's get to it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start by removing all the existing hardware. Now, I know this isn't the most ideal recording position, but unfortunately this room is kind of small where the garage door is. It's in the laundry area. And I still wanted to show the process for some of you do-it-yourselfers out there to see how easy it actually is to do. Because sometimes when you're new to the do-it-yourself land, it's a little intimidating. So first thing we're going to do is get this old lock off here. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out first. And just a little tidbit of information. If you can get yourself a ratchet screwdriver like this, man, it makes things so much easier than doing it by hand. A lot easier on the wrist. You can even use an electric screwdriver. You just have to be careful not to strip the hole out or the head of the screw, because if you do, then that requires a whole nother level of getting it out. And then we're going to take the lock off. Okay, so as you can see, getting the old lock removed is super easy. Just work that out, and there you have it. What was that? 4 screws and pop it out, and now we have just an empty hole. So now we're going to get the lock out here. Now, this is the keypad, which is going to go on here, so I don't need this just yet. So the first thing we're going to have to do is install this bracket. This actually goes on the inside of the door, like that, because the big plate here will go there, and then the touchpad will go here on the outside. So need to get this hardware unboxed. So as you can see here, we have a new plate, we have a new striker, and we have some additional screws and bolts. So let's get this opened up here. So just so you can see here too, so this is the piece that's going to go here once I get the plate on, and then it'll screw to the plate. Okay, so you can see there's one screw here. One thing I like is they put like a little washer on the inside so the screw won't fall out and you don't lose it. That's a nice touch, actually, because I can't tell you how many times I've been taking screws out and they'll fall off the screwdriver, or they'll end up somewhere that you can't retrieve them. So once you take the screw out, This plate just slides off like that to reveal the battery compartment. This is where the module is going to go, and it also has 2 screw holes that we'll need to mount it. So another nice thing I like is they label things like, you can see this little cutout right here is going to be where the cable comes through for the actual lock side of it. So this is going to go in like this, and it's going to seal tight. The electronic part will go here, and so that'll be real easy. Got it. At first I thought it was scratched, but then there was another another plastic piece that went over it to protect it. So that's nice. So okay, it's in good shape. So see, this also has like a rubber gasket seal. So this is going here like this, and it just barely fits that hole. Wow. Okay. It's nice and snug. Okay. One thing before I put this on here, I wanted to show. On the bottom here, they have these 2 little metal pins. The nice thing about this lock is, if by some chance the batteries run out in the main unit, all you got to do is take a 9-bolt plug, touch the 9-bolt here, and it'll provide enough power to the lock where you can put your code in if you don't have any other alternatives. So that makes it real nice. And 9-volt batteries you can get anywhere, so it's convenient. Here, so this plate, see, this is that cable that they give you this little slot for, so you make sure you don't pinch the cable, which again, nice touch. Because you'd think this would be like an obvious thing, but you'd be surprised at how many times it's overlooked, things like that. Okay, so it's got these little tabs right here that go through this metal plate. And I think because I didn't realize it had come out of the hole, it was not letting it sit tight. Okay, so you can see where it says up. So you need to make sure it goes in with that side up, like so. There you go. So now I'm going to put those screws in. And I always I'll put a screw in, I won't tighten it, I'll put the next screw in, and then I'll tighten them. So that way you don't have to worry about the hole alignment, because sometimes it's not always exactly perfectly aligned. All right, so it's in there nice and snug. And this will go in through here. Let's see if I can get it to thread the first time here. That would be nice. If not, I'll take the device back out again. So as you can see, they give you 2 different ones, and I assumed that this one was going to be the right size, but it's not. It's the black one. I need one that's a little bit shorter because the door is not that thick to take up the extra room. I'll make sure all these little rubber tabs are through here, because we want this rubber gasket to be situated good. Tighten these down. Now you don't have to go like super tight. Just get it to where it's nice and snug, because you don't want to strip this out, and you don't want to strip the side where the lock is either. So the gasket's in nice and tight. So we're in good shape. All right, so now you can see the cable here is going to plug into here once I get this mounted. And another point to note is, so you see how this is flat this way, and you have to make sure that the lock is in the closed position so that the hole, I don't know if you see that or not, the hole right there, the slot is sideways. Otherwise this won't slide in there correctly. So we're going to go ahead and plug this up. It's also nice too. They give this like little black mark, and you see it's got a little black mark to let you know which way it goes in. Now it's also got these 2 like little indentions here, these little slides, and if you look on the plug, which I know it's kind of hard to see, there's 2 little notches that tell you which way the connector goes, which is convenient. So now that it's plugged in, that black line is actually connected, so you know that it's in there correctly. And of course, you're going to have a little extra wire, and that's totally normal. But there's plenty of space inside the lock to kind of wrap it around the bottom, so you don't have to worry about that. So what I did is the wire comes out here. I wrapped it around kind of the bottom of that and then connected, so that way it's not kinked. It just has a nice little loop to it. All right, so they gave you these 3 little black screws because you don't need a lot of depth to that. So I gave you these 3 little black ones to mount this. And again, I'm going to get one started, and then we'll get the other started before we tighten them down, because you don't want to strip them. Like when I first started getting that in, I could tell it was a little tight because the screw was a little crooked. So I just backed it out and straightened it up and then slowly put it back in. And I'm doing the same to this one. Okay, so that's in there. If it doesn't go in nice and smooth, immediately back it out and try again, because otherwise you're going to strip it. All right, so they're all screwed in as far as started. I'm going to make sure the rubber gasket is out all the way around, which it is. So I'm going to go ahead and finish tightening these up. And this one is tight. All right, nice. So now I've got to take this module and connect the module into here, because that's what makes it all function. You've got to have that installed. Okay. Now you see this plate will just fit right over there like that. And easy peasy. And I just realized that I forgot my batteries, but that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this section up here. Basically, all I had to do is put some batteries in here. I got the module connected, and then the lock will function. I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and go out here and get the hub installed, and then we'll get this wrapped up. So we'll get that taken care of and move on. Okay, so I went ahead and got the batteries put in, the door lock, made sure everything was working there, so that's in good shape. So now we're going to get the hub installed and then get it paired with the app. Now, there's a few things that are kind of important to know first before you get started. This plate right here has an arrow, and that arrow needs to be facing up in order for this to mount correctly. You have the power plug here for the power adapter, and then the piece that goes on the garage, they give you a couple of little screws, so if you needed to like screw it in, you could, but I'm going to need to use these little Velcro stickies they gave me. Now, one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to cover up the serial number, model number, and this information if you can avoid it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one over here because there's nothing over here that's of any importance. And then I'll stick this one over here, and it's just covering up the date of manufacture, which isn't really that critical. But that way it leaves all that information exposed, so that if I have to take this off to reference that, I'll have it. You can even take a picture of that if you wanted to. And then I guess it wouldn't matter if you covered that up. I think that's going to be a good solution. And you can see here it says top as well. So you want to make sure that's aligned correctly. Because if you look at it, it's going to need to know its orientation as the garage is moving. So that's going to be important. Now, they give you these little inserts for the wall. But I know from past experience, I'm not going to really need it on this wall. It's not a lot of weight, so I'm just going to use the screw, and I'll just screw the plate into the top, and then get this mounted and plugged up, and then we'll get the garage door sensor paired. And so let's get to it. Now, I'm kind of tall, 6'1", so I just need a step ladder to reach that. If you can't reach it, obviously it's something that you'll want to get a taller ladder, or maybe even have somebody else come out and install it if you're not wanting to climb on the ladder. But it's pretty simple. One thing I better double check though first is just to make sure I have enough cord length. So let's undo this cord here. Oh yeah, I could even mount it on the ceiling if I wanted to. So plenty of cord length, so that's good. That's definitely something you want to look at if you think the distance between the hub and the plug is going to be too far, to make sure that's not out of reach. And keep in mind, even if you put the screw in, you're like, oh, I need the insert. Not a big deal. Take the screw out, put the insert in, put the screw back in, and you'll be good to go. It's not a big deal to fix that. And on this right here, I don't know that it's super important to get exactly even. It's pretty easy to kind of make sure the arrow is pointing straight, but even if it's off just a little, it's not going to make any difference. So I just make sure it's relatively straight. It's easy to eyeball that stuff. See, this is where a ratchet screwdriver really comes in handy. It makes this kind of stuff so much faster and easier on your hands. I've had this one here. This is made by Snap-on. And again, just so you know, none of this video is sponsored by MyQ, Snap-on, or anybody else. All this is stuff I purchased with my own money. But I wanted to, show you how it all hooks up. So, okay, so that's snug. That's snug. Okay, so that's on there good. So they're snugged in there. It's not super tight, but it doesn't have to be. This doesn't have a lot of weight, and it's not like you're going to be taking this on and off, on and off, on and off. So you don't have to worry about that. So I wouldn't worry about it. So there's little notches. Let me see that right here. You can see on here the little notches. So we're going to take this and set it and turn it. All right. Now it doesn't like lock in place, so you just have to turn it until it's snug. Again, there's not a lot of weight to it. It doesn't have to be, super tight. And see, I like that they put the plug on the side, because little things like this are important. They put the plug on the side instead of on the bottom. You'd think, oh, on the bottom makes more sense, but not really, because it'd be easy to pull the plug out. Having the plug on the side, it doesn't make it easy to pull the plug out. So that's why they did that. And I think that's smart, because it would be real easy to snatch that out of the bottom. And then you'd really be in trouble, because you wouldn't be able to keep it secure, which is definitely something you want to do. And I don't even really need to, if this were too much length, I'd probably bundle that up, but I don't even know. Now, let's see here. I like things tidy. See, that's too much. You know what I could even do? I think I might. That's a good idea. I'm going to actually take the extra cord and wrap it around the unit, the actual hub. So that way, it'll make that even more secure to not get pulled out. And look at that. One wrap around, and it's at the perfect height for that. So that's good. Okay, so I just kind of pulled that a little more taut around the device, so that way I have a little snack. It's not pulling on it at all. That's actually perfect. So nice and tight. And I could even, if I wanted to, take a little cable tie and tie it to the wall. Don't really think I need to do that. I think that looks neat enough. That way, if I have to ever unplug it, I don't have to worry about pulling something out of the wall. So, all right. So now we're going to get the device connected to the Wi-Fi, and then we will get the door sensor paired with the hub. Okay, so as you see, I've got the MyQ app opened. You can see it already shows the garage door open because I already have an actual opener, and then that's my camera. Now, one thing I want to point out real quick, and you see the little orange battery on the camera. The camera has been up for probably 7-8 weeks, and it's still 22%. Now, I went ahead and ordered another battery from MyQ, so that way I can just charge the other battery, and then once this gets, where I have to replace it, which I should probably swap it now, but I don't have the other battery yet. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, and then I'll charge it, and then I'll swap it out. But I have plenty for the next few days, so I'm not really worried about it, which basically means it's not any issue to get a good probably 9 weeks out of the battery, which for me is fine. I know a lot of people complain about bad battery life. Everybody's scenario is a little different. You might have a situation where someone's activity is greater or the temperature is different. We'll see during the winter how fast it drains, but I've actually been happy with the battery life. I don't have any issues with it. I know there was another review I watched where he said that MyQ had reached out to him because he was complaining about the battery life being so terrible. And they're supposed to be coming out with some firmware updates, which would be good. I mean, anytime you can get a little more battery is great. But I don't really have an issue with it. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that. And this keypad has been working great. I love it. And of course, the keypad and the door lock is what you're going to need to have to do the in-garage delivery. So let's go ahead and get this installed here. So I'm going to say new device. And we are going to do smart lock. And we have the Yale deadbolt lock. Lock is already installed. So yes, yes, yes. So I'm ready. Okay, so we got to do the lock first. It says remove one battery, wait 10 seconds. Okay, so let's do that. Put the battery back in. Next. I have to put the serial number in here, which I've got right here. It's inserted. Press 7 on the module.
Register master code. Press the gear key to continue. Enter a 4 to 8 digit. Registered. Factory reset completed. Touch the keypad for handing lock.
Nice.
Handing lock completed.
Okay. I'm going to work on the hub first, and then I'll have to deal with that because the hub's ready to pair. So let's go to it first. Smart garage door. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, blinking. There's the device. Pair. Yes, that's green. Okay, so now I got to pull the tab out of here, which is going to start the pairing process for that. Press the test button. Next. Oh, that was easy. That's nice. It's a Chamberlain. Okay, so yes, I found it. It's orange and red. Push it. Next. Oh, nice. Automatically. Nice. There we go. Yeah. And we're going to do that later. Yeah, let's continue. Let's do it. Because I am a Prime member. So let's go in here and rename this door dash Amazon key. That way I know. Save. Yeah, that way I know. Okay. So now, let's go back to the door lock. Lock is installed. Yes, yes, yes.
Menu mode. Enter number. Press the gear key to continue. Wireless module setting mode. Press the gear key to continue. Join the wireless network.
Finally. Garage door lock.
Time expired.
Okay, so apparently it did connect, but takes a minute. That's all right. I'll turn my Bluetooth off, see if it's going over Wi-Fi. It is. Okay. So, that's kind of confusing because, the setup said that it didn't work, but then it did work. So, that's one of the frustrating things you have to deal with, but it's all good. So, we now have the lock installed, we have the hub installed, we have the sensor on the door, and we should be good to go. I might test that out to see. I don't know if I could test the Amazon key. I'll probably have to see first time we do a delivery. But anyway, all right. All right, so I wanted to show you the lock installed real quick before I am finished with this. So right now it's unlocked. One of the cool things I've discovered is, and I might be able to change it, the settings, I don't know. So like if I'm leaving the house and I close the door, all I got to do is hit the Yale button and it'll automatically lock it. You don't have to put a code in or anything. So it's unlocked. So now I can either go into my app, I can open it with the app, or I can hit the Yale button again, turn the keypad on, and I'm not gonna let you see my code, and then it unlocks. Nice. So if we come in here, you can see it's locked. It's unlocked. I can lock it manually if I want. Okay, so there you have it. Hub's installed and paired. The lock is installed and paired. Everything works well in the app. For the most part, it was a pretty easy process. The lock fit perfectly in the door, which is important. Because sometimes, the holes might not be drilled quite right and you have to kind of open those up a little bit, but everything fit like super perfect. There was a couple of issues again with the software and the pairing side of things, I did have a little bit of an issue with the lock being discoverable in the app. It's not a really big issue because I mean, obviously I had to like redo it like 3 or 4 times for it to actually be able to get discovered, because it wasn't bringing up the keypad for me to get into the settings like it was supposed to. But finally, it all worked. The hub paired instantaneously almost with the app. I did have to pair the hub to the garage door 3 or 4 times to get it to connect properly. But again, that could be the garage door. It doesn't necessarily have to be that equipment. Function for the lock and unlock works great with the app, works on Wi-Fi, so I know it's all connected and working. So I'm very happy with its functionality. Again, the equipment is solid. The lock is very well made. The hub is well made. So the MyQ components have all been like really, really nice. I think they do a good job with putting out some quality product. I do think there's some app software quirkiness they can fix, but that's pretty much with everything. I mean, Google Home has these kind of issues. You know, the Tapo app. I mean, they all seem to have these kind of little weird issues going on. So I don't really put that as a big issue. So yeah, looking forward to using the Amazon in-garage delivery. I've got it signed up and ready. And I actually have a couple things I need to order, so I think I'll test it out and see how it works. So yeah, looking forward to that. And I will definitely kind of do a little update once I've had a chance to use that service and let you know how it went. So, but listen, I really appreciate you guys watching and supporting the channel. And if you enjoy this, I would really appreciate a like on this video. And I would greatly appreciate a subscribe on the channel. It definitely helps keep the channel rolling. So listen, I appreciate your time. And again, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks.